Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Dan Quinn is the new head coach of the Washington Commanders. That report from ESPN's Adam Schefter. But our Damian Woody says Quinn already has one thing working against him.
He's the last hire. Offensive coordinator spots are being dried up. Everyone's been picking over all the top coordinators. You got the number 2 pick in the draft. You have to hit on the quarterback. We can talk about defense. We can talk about everything. If you don't hit on the quarterback, you have no chance of being successful.
Damian Woody on First Take. Quinn was the Cowboys' defensive coordinator the last 3 years. Before that, he was the head coach of the Falcons. The Ravens promote inside linebackers coach Zachary Orr to be the new defensive coordinator. Orr replaces Mike McDonald, who's now the head coach in Seattle, and he's the first former Ravens player to be a coordinator for the team. 7-time Formula One world champ Lewis Hamilton is switching from Mercedes to Ferrari in 2025. Hamilton has won a record 103 F1 races, and 6 of his 7 titles were in a Mercedes.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Kennedy. Coming on Friday, I'll tell you the quarterback that no one is talking about that's going into next year on the hot seat. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Heading to Mobile in about 15 minutes for a Senior Bowl update. We got Kendall Rogers an hour from right now. LSU commit Devin Harper next hour. LSU commit Keylan Moses in hour 3. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I'm kind of pissed at Luke Johnson right now. And it's definitely a case of just, of me shooting the messenger. And I like Luke. Liked him a long time. Luke, went to LSU. He's a Marine. Good dude. Great dude. Went to LSU, covered LSU. Now, NOLA.com covers the Saints. And Luke Johnson is reporting what I think we all probably feared, maybe assumed. But he's reporting that the Saints are likely to restructure Derek Carr's contract. Ah! Had to get that out. Derek Carr is set to count $35.7 million against the salary cap this coming season. And the Saints, because, Mickey Loomis does what Mickey Loomis does, and he has Kai Harley do his cap gymnastics, and we all sort of praise that, and it's great whenever you're trying to create space because you're trying to win a championship and you have a legitimate chance to do it. It's another when you're just like, applying for new credit cards so you can buy more crap that you don't need. That's just going to plunge you further into debt, but that's where the Saints are right now. So part of the Saints getting out of cap hell this year is apparently a restructure of Derek Carr's deal. And that would, for all intents and purposes, if it played out that way, commit the Saints to Derek Carr for at least 2 more seasons, 2024 and 2025. We don't have details of what the restructure would look like, but as of right now, and if I sound like I'm freaking depressed and sad, I am depressed and sad because I feared the Saints would do this, but I was hopeful that maybe they wouldn't. So the Saints this year, I've told you that they were financially bound to Derek Carr for at least 1 more year, the 24 season. So for all that we're hoping that it might end, this offseason, it won't. So Carr's current contract, his cap hit is $35.7 million for this coming season, but his dead cap number is 52.8, meaning if Derek Carr is on the Saints roster this year, he costs you $35.7 million. If he's not on the roster, he costs you 52.8. That's his dead cap number. So next year, his cap hit is 45.7. His dead cap number is 17.1. So essentially, after this season, you could cut, release, trade Derek Carr, whatever, and it would save you about $30 million if he wasn't on the roster in 2025. However, if they restructure that contract now, it essentially will commit you to Derek Carr financially for 2 more seasons, 24 and 25. And it certainly appears, according to Luke's reporting, that's what they're going to do. This sucks. It sucks. I hate it. I hated when they signed him last year. I hated watching him play all this season. And I feel like I always have to throw out this caveat that this is nothing personal. Derek Carr appears to be a great human being, a good man, a good husband, a good father, a good human, all the things that really matter when you live on planet Earth. All of those things. Check, 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 and that's great. It's vastly more important than what you do on a football field. However, what I do here is talk about sports. And one of the teams that I talk about is the Saints, whom I happen to love. And as the Saints starting quarterback, I loathe Derek Carr. We've done the Emperor of Empty Yards bit. You don't have to play the horn. It's okay. We all know what he is. He is the thing that I have been saying since the day they signed him. He is an average at his best. At his very best, he borders on the top 10 in the NFL, but he is not even near what his best once was. He is at his best right now, a mid-level quarterback in the NFL. Every subjective and objective metric we looked at last offseason proved it or pointed to it, and everything you saw this year, his 10th season as an NFL starting quarterback, validated that. Derek Carr is not, nor will he ever be, elite. And if the Saints continue to throw resources behind him, all you are doing is continuing to delegitimize your organization. You are continuing to chain yourself to mediocrity as long as Derek Carr is your quarterback. And I get it. Drafting a quarterback is no guarantee that you're going to end up being great. You think the Panthers might be having second thoughts right now on Bryce Young? You think the Jets wish they had gone a different direction with Zach Wilson? How good might the Niners be if they didn't trade all those picks for Trey Lance? They're in the Super Bowl. How much better could they be? There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that if you draft a quarterback, you hit. But the guarantee that I have is as long as Derek Carr is your quarterback, you're not achieving anything of significance. You will exist in perpetual mediocrity, 7, 8, 9 wins. Maybe you luck up, win a bad division, and get bounced in the wild card round. But that's about the best you can hope for with him. And the Saints, with this decision, are saying, we're good with that. And I'm not. and I won't be. And so if you're sick of hearing me complain about Derek Carr after this season, I got bad news for you. You're going to hear it very likely now for at least 2 more years because they ain't firing me, and the Saints are hitching their wagon to Derek Carr. So you're going to listen to me bitch about this guy for 2 more years because he stinks. Damn you, Luke Johnson, and your stupid report. Just as we're starting the show, you got to go ruin my day. And I was planning on talking about Alabama's OC Ryan Grubb going back to Seattle to be the Seahawks offensive coordinator potentially. I was ready to be rip-roaring and having a great time to start the show. Tap dancing on the ashes of the Alabama football program. And instead, Luke Johnson had that report. You couldn't have waited till like 6:15, Luke? Jerk. I'm not really mad at you, Luke. I'm just projecting right now. You're a great guy. But I hate your report today. Luke Johnson over at NOLA.com reporting the Saints are preparing to restructure Derek Carr's contract. It'll help him get within cap compliance, but it will financially hitch the Saints to Derek Carr for at least 2 more seasons. Okay. That's depressing. Our show opens brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer of the Saints. And with this news, I may need about 37 of them tonight. Bud Light, of course, also the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Going to be at the PMAC. Grab you some Bud Light this weekend when LSU takes on Arkansas. Or you're hopping in or popping into any of your favorite retailers. Make sure you look for the aluminum bottles, the 16-ounce LSU Women's Basketball National Championship aluminum bottles. Buy a couple of cases. Buy one as a collector's item, and then buy as many as you want just to drink. It's Bud Light, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer, of course, of the LSU Tigers, the official beer of us here on After Further Review. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. This was happenstance. We had Jeff Novak, sideline reporter for the Saints Radio Network, scheduled for our second segment here. He's in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. Drew Brees spoke to reporters earlier today. We're going to talk about the OC, all that stuff. And then the Carr news just sort of trickled out. So I'll ask Jeff about that. So Jeff Nowak here. When we come back, Kendall Rogers to start hour number 2. And then we do have a lot of LSU recruit news. Devin Harper, the interior offensive lineman from Calvary Baptist, he'll be with us at the bottom of hour 2. And then Keylan Moses in studio with us for a couple of segments in hour number 3. We're glad you're with us. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Of course, the G team continues to grow. I would highly recommend, if you don't do it already, to follow Gordon on all the social media channels. You'll get some great content, like Riding with G. The first episode was with Kim Mulkey, riding around in Gordon's Ferrari. Short-form interview, Q&A. It's pretty cool. And then we also saw today that Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys announced the newest signee, the newest member of the G team. It is a softball player, Maddox McKee, who is the newest member of the G team. So congrats to Maddox McKee, the newest member of the G team. And we continue to tell you about so many of the student athletes that Gordon has helped and sponsored through NIL deals that have joined the G team. And we're thrilled to be a part of the G team as well. Maddox McKee with the LSU softball team is the newest member. And I'm sure there will be many, many more as each day and week goes by. But Gordon's given athletes, student athletes, both male and female, all different sports and universities, great opportunities through NIL to be part of the G team. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Senior Bowl going on in Mobile all this week, and so the entire NFL has descended upon there. And a lot of conversations and discussions and coaching searches and all that stuff happening. So let's head over to Mobile. Jeff Novak, who is a part of the team over there at WWL. He's the sideline reporter for the Saints. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us there. How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. One of the reasons I look forward to the Senior Bowl every year is because I go out to Mobile and I can finally get Cookout and Zaxby's. And then I feel like my fast food life is complete. And then I come back to New Orleans. And I was able to get my Zaxby's for lunch today. So I feel like my trip has been completed. So it's going well.
I don't know, Jeff. I mean, that seems like Kane slander, and it's not going to stand here. You got to know the audience a little bit, man. I mean, take that Zaxby's and shove it down your throat. But give me some Canes over Zaxby's.
There's room in my life for more than one set of chicken tenders.
I can respect that. I can respect that. Hey, I'm sure you've seen it by now, but I just saw Luke Johnson's report that the Saints are planning to extend Derek Carr. You got any immediate reaction to that?
Well, so I don't know if it's an extension so much as it's a restructure. And I think that was, you kind of look at it, and I think that was always kind of the play in terms of you have to get under the salary cap. The Saints always have this kind of challenge in the offseason. And you had two options, right? You had the obvious $20 million that you can clear by restructuring Derek's contract, or you have a lot of other difficult decisions up and down the roster to give yourself a little bit of flexibility there to maybe get out from under it. So if you're the Saints and you think, hey, we're going to ride this out, then yeah, I mean, that's the sensible thing to do because it allows you to be more flexible with some of these other guys. If you don't restructure Derek, then you have to take a look at Marshawn's contract. You have to take a look at Alvin's contract. You have to take a look at all these other aging guys who, this would just make things more difficult from a flexibility perspective with them. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me, again, because I think the team has made it pretty clear that they're sticking with Derek Carr. So, it's like you can disagree with it, but from that perspective, it makes sense in terms of what you'd be doing. So, yeah, I mean, it's just the process. He was always going to be the quarterback this year. And, it doesn't necessarily mean you are stuck with him per se. It would just make it more difficult to move on from him if things went off the rails this year. So this upcoming year. So that's kind of where I land on it. Yeah.
Drew Brees was there in Mobile, and I know he met with reporters, and he was asked about the OC search and how it's sort of interwoven with Derek Carr. What did you think about what Drew had to say today?
I don't think Drew was in Mobile. I think he was.
Where was that?
That was at Small's Sliders. He's opening up another burger place.
Hey, there you go. Get you some Smalls, Jeff.
I'm always down for some little hamburgers. But yeah. So I wasn't there for that. He was also on WWL yesterday, and he talked about it. And yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with Drew in that I think the Saints have things they need to fix. But I also think this is the idea that they're not going to be able to hire a qualified offensive coordinator because they're taking their time in the process is kind of silly. We'll see. I am intrigued. I think they're getting close. We've heard some new names kind of crop up lately that are interesting. Yeah, I think my read this whole time is when you're trying to pair Dennis Allen with a new play caller, I want that guy to have play calling experience. I would prefer to have a guy who has had offensive coordinator experience because you have a really narrow window. This is something that you're trying to thread something here that I don't know if I feel good about throwing a first-time offensive coordinator into that situation and expecting that person to thrive. I need someone who is a little more battle-tested. That's kind of where I lean. But yeah, I mean, I think Drew's right. I think, when you look at the criticism and you look at the noise, a lot of it is about the expectations in this city for football in the city are a lot higher than when the last time they had to, hire an offensive coordinator, which was way back in the mid-2000s. One of the things that's interesting about Drew Brees and his kind of input on the offensive coordinator search is he never had to go through one of these.
Yeah.
He doesn't even necessarily know how this process plays out because they never really had to do that when he was here. So it is interesting because it's really new ground. And I guess you could look back and say it's similar to when the Saints were hiring a defensive coordinator with Sean, and that process was more protracted. And, they made some mistakes then, so maybe they learned from that. But yeah, I think a lot of this is about, you got to find a way to win. You got to do it fast because whoever you bring in, it doesn't matter who you bring in, there's not going to be any patience for a slow start, and that's why when I say I want someone who's battle tested, because that's a tough scenario to walk into, particularly for a guy who's coming out of the quarterback's coach gig that hasn't really experienced it before. So that's, I think it's interesting.
He's on Twitter at Jeff_Novak. If you want to give him a follow, there, Saints sideline reporter. Do you, by the way, do you have a choice, like a preference for OC? If you had the pick, who would it be?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of people would slam Luke Getsy if it ended up being Luke Getsy. But I actually think I don't think he did as bad a job with the Bears as a lot of people might. And part of that because I just don't think that he was ever like his scheme, his ideas for the offense really married well with Justin Fields. And I think that became clear pretty quickly. When they first started to work together, like Justin Fields, they tried to make him into a pocket passer and not really have running be a part of his game. And that's not because Luke wanted to change him. That's just how he wants to run an offense. So I think Luke Getsy would be an intriguing hire. Clint Kubiak's another guy. He kind of checks that box of having been a play caller before he did in Minnesota. You want to get that kind of Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay tree in there. So he'd be my second, if I was kind of ranking these. And then I think Ronald Curry, I know people will be annoyed and say, yeah, they're just sticking with more of the same. I still think Ronald Curry is a really good coach. And I think the decision with Ronald, you have to kind of ask yourself, do you think he can be an offensive coordinator in the NFL? And if the answer is yes, then you have to ask yourself the next question, which is, would you rather him be your offensive coordinator or somebody else? Because I would be stunned if his name doesn't start surfacing in some of these coordinator searches. He interviewed with the Bucs last year. So he would be, that's kind of my three, where if I'm looking to hire someone, it would be one of those three.
Let me switch gears a bit while you are there in Mobile and ask, who have been the standouts? I mean, just when I ask you, as the week has gone to practice, the first few names maybe that pop into your head, good or bad, what do you blurt out?
Yeah, so my goal in Mobile is I'm just trying to come up with a pool of guys that I think are intriguing for the Saints to draft. That's usually how I approach it. I'm not out there scouting every individual player because some make sense, some don't. But the guy who really jumped out, and he's going to get a lot of praise, he's going to fly up draft boards real quick, is Darius Robinson. Whatever you want to call him, I think he's kind of a combo inside-outside rusher. He's 6'5", 284 pounds, and you would never guess that by looking at him. And I talked to him after yesterday's practice, and he'll tell you he believes he is the best defensive lineman in this draft. He compares himself. He says he's a mix of Max Crosby and Chris Jones, which is high praise. But go go watch some of these clips, and you're like, you know what, I can see it. You know, he's just blowing people off the line. He just fits exactly what the Saints want to do. You know, we talked to Jeff Ireland about prototypes and, you know, how you adjust over time, and edge rushers seem to be getting smaller, and do the Saints need to kind of, you know, adjust how they scout and what they look for. And while I think that's definitely true at linebacker, and you've seen them get a little smaller and quicker at linebacker, I don't think that their edge rusher prototype is going to change, you know, anytime soon. And he just fits that perfectly. And I think he's been wowing some folks. Just do a quick Twitter search for Adrian or Darius Robinson, and you'll see what I'm talking about really quickly. Talese Fuanga, which that's a name that if you're trying to figure out how to say it, that is how it's said. I asked him. You know, he's just this behemoth of a man. Oregon State, 6'6", 334. I think he weighed in at. You know, he's a mauler. You know, he's a guy who excels in the run game. He's got to improve pass pro, and I know that's gonna give some people some nightmares when they hear that. But you know, you're just looking for prototypes, and I think he is an excellent prospect who could be there at 14. And my question with him is how he handles speed. You know, how he handles speed rushers, because you know, you're 6'6", you got to be able to move. You got to be able to get your hands on guys, and when he does, he's effective. When they get around him a little bit, you know, that's where your technique comes in. But I think he's a pretty technically sound guy. So I feel really good about him. Another guy, Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle Arizona, was really good. Tyler Guyton's another just gigantic human offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. I think, did I say Oklahoma with Jordan Morgan? I meant Arizona if I said Oklahoma. And then the other, you know, one of the standouts that I didn't expect was Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. You know, you wonder how a guy out of Toledo is going to match up when he kind of goes up against these top end prospects, and he's just been locking people down. You know, there's been some people saying he's the best defensive player at the Senior Bowl this week. So, you know, those are just a few names. Then you have obviously Ladd McConkey's out there. He's just a professional wide receiver playing in college. Roman Wilson really kind of reminds me of Olave, but these are guys, you know, Michigan, Georgia. They're not surprising anybody. So, right. You know, those are just a few names.
Last thing, any observations from the LSU guys, Jordan Jefferson, Charles Turner? I mean, I guess aside from Jordan Jefferson ripping a guy's helmet off and throwing it across the field.
Yeah, I did get a good look at Jordan doing that. I wasn't able to catch up with Jordan. You know, he's a lot of these guys, you know, you're just watching to see, it's like, okay, how are they kind of battling? How are they kind of holding up? And I think Jordan, you know, avails himself pretty well in that regard. You know, with Charles, you know, he's been working at all three interior line spots, which that's something that, you know, these pro scouts want to see. They want to see some versatility. He told me that he's been told, you know, he needs to work on his kind of aggression at the point of attack, keeping his hips square, stuff that, you know, I think the biggest thing for these guys at this event specifically is you get out there, you start talking to scouts, you start talking to teams. Everybody meets with all 32 teams. They call it like a speed dating situation. And you just kind of learn how you're perceived and what people think you need to work on. And I think that's so valuable as you get into the rest of this process, right? You know, they're going to have a pro day. They're going to have all this time to kind of work and refine and then get into these drills in front of scouts again and maybe show what they weren't excelling at going into this week. So I think both those guys, they're fringe prospects, right? You're talking about late round or UDFA. So, you know, I think both of them held up pretty well. You know, I didn't see them getting bullied around at all. And I think it's just going to be kind of refining, and I'm interested to see what they do on Saturday.
There's a really good video as well. Charles Turner, I guess the offensive linemen were playing some like DB drills. Charles Turner is like, you know, D'ing up, you know, press coverage on one of the other offensive linemen running a corner route in the end zone. Actually, some pretty good ball skills.
And he hit the gritty.
Yeah. Well, the video I saw, I didn't hit the gritty, but I did see him drop the interception. But undercut the route, high pointed the ball, a lot of good skills there, Jeff. I mean, you drop him, you know, 100 LBs. He might be a guy that could have played for LSU this past year.
Maybe he's a tight end. Who knows?
Or could have been a corner for LSU this past year. Wouldn't have made much difference. Jeff Nowak on Twitter at Jeff_Nowak. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Sure, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
All right, be well. It is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. You know the drill. You can go to the website. If it's on the lot, it's online at SouthPointVW.com. You can shop by year, make, model, body style, price. Narrow down that search however you want. What I always tell you is whether you're buying new or certified pre-owned and you search the inventory, you're seeing pictures of the actual vehicle there on the lot. You're not seeing stock photos. It's like, no, that's the vehicle that's right there on the lot at South Point Volkswagen on Airline just north of Highland. southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, 30 minutes from right now, Kendall Rogers is here, D1 Baseball. We'll take a look not only at some early thoughts on LSU, but the league and the country. And 1 hour from right now, the newly minted LSU commitment, Devin Harper, the interior offensive lineman from Calvary Baptist up in the Port City. He'll be here, so we'll look forward to that. We got a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out. If you missed it at the start of the show, Luke Johnson over at NOLA.com has a report that the Saints are expected to restructure Derek Carr's contract. So ultimately what that means is you will be financially bound to Derek Carr beyond the 2024 season if, in fact, they do restructure him. So they are hitching their wagon, for better or worse, to the emperor of empty yards. Okay, hit it this time. My back's hurting today too, so to stand up, you know I'm being reverent if I'm going to stand up for that. All right, it's after further review. We'll continue. Stay here.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James, brokered by LPT Realty.
Roy Henry called Darren James after listening to this show. Darren had his home sold within 2 days. Listen to what Roy tells people who are looking for a realtor.
Oh, Darren James, hands down. We interviewed several. We thought we did our due diligence. And after talking to Darren and then seeing the results and seeing what he does, everything he says he does, it's been kind of fun to watch him work. But I would recommend him hands down to anyone who would ask.
I'd recommend him hands down to anyone who would ask. The bottom line is when you call Darren James, he's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Number 54 in the country, and that's not subjective. That is based on volume. If you need to get to closing, you need to get there fast, you need to make the most amount of money, you need the best, you need Darren James. Agent225.com, agent225.com for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a
After further review with Matt Moscona.
You can watch all our shows on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel and drop your comments in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. I want to remind you, look, Bayou Ford, good news over there. After being a total loss due to Hurricane Ida, they have now opened an incredible new Jeep showroom, new and used inventory, and a beautiful new service waiting area. Check out BayouCDJR.com. There was a pop-up blocking half my read there.
There's a pop-up blocking half my read there excuse.
I was like, I read through this before. It was longer than this.
I got a good idea. What's
that?
Paper.
Print it. Yeah. I mean, we'll get good around to that. I just wanted to knock it out here and darn pop-up. Go to Bayou Ford, brand new showroom. They're back open.
Well, Bayou CDJR.
Yes.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. So congrats to those guys on reopening. That's a heck of a grind after Ida. So we salute them. You probably remember after Nick Saban got fired that I had a lot of fun on air laughing at Alabama as coaches left and players left and recruits left, and the melt was just so obvious. And all of these wonderful children of God who have cheered for Alabama and lived through this blessed era, how they all of a sudden started dramatically lowering their expectations and celebrating transfer commitments from 3 stars that were, ranked in the 500s nationally. We got one! As if what? Alabama was going to field a team with 40 scholarship players. Oh, no, you lowered your standard. Well, Bama was burning. The fire, the blaze was reaching the heavens. If Elon Musk was up in his rocket on SpaceX looking down from the moon, he could have seen that plume of smoke from over Tuscaloosa. And he could have heard me laughing like a jackass from hundreds of miles away. Well, the fire's out. All that's left is a smoldering pile of rubble on what used to be Bryant Dennehy Stadium. Or is it? Did you see the news today?
I didn't see it.
Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk is reporting that Alabama offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb might not be long for Tuscaloosa. Turns out that the Seahawks and their new head coach, Mike McDonald, have a pretty keen eye toward Mr. Grubb to head back to the Pacific Northwest to be the Seahawks offensive coordinator. This feels preemptive, though, Muse.
Are you sure? I don't know. I mean, Florio's respected.
No, it's not that Florio isn't respected. Of course he is. It's not the point. The report is good. But are we celebrating preemptively? Meaning he hasn't gotten the job yet.
Counting the chickens before they hatch type thing here.
Only when Mike McDonald hires Ryan Grubb to be the Seahawks offensive coordinator, sending him back from whence he came. Only then can we truly celebrate again as the fire over Tuscaloosa reignites and burns the piles of rubble, burns the remaining ashes, the crimson flags that once flew in front of households celebrating all of their fake national championships alongside the actual legitimate ones. The flames from hell. They're coming to claim what they missed in the first go-round.
Just make sure you have the GIF on standby. You got the GIF on standby?
What's Dennis Francione doing? Run it back.
There's a second part of that song. I didn't know that.
We've played it enough. You're just figuring that out.
We never play that part. I didn't know that. I was like, what is this? That almost sounded like our Gregorian chant.
Hey, Mike. I'll chip in for his contract. Whatever you need. Ooh. What would Parker Brailsford do? Do you think he would jump back in the portal and head back to Washington?
He could. Wouldn't blame him.
Who would Kalen DeBoer hire as his OC?
Oh, man.
We're talking about a guy that has no NFL experience. Ryan Grubb, 47 years old, has only ever coached alongside Kalen DeBoer from the FCS to Fresno State, Sioux Falls, South Dakota State, Eastern Michigan, Fresno State, and now the University of Washington.
I got the perfect guy for Kalen DeBoer. Perfect guy.
Jake Peets?
No. Brian Ferentz. Perfect guy.
It's a little bit veiled use. Some people get it. Not everybody's going to get it. Got to be way more obvious.
The former Iowa OC who just got canned.
That guy would
by an interim AD.
That would be so good.
Perfect fit.
Kalen, get him on speed dial. Is it too late to bring back Tommy? What's his name?
Oh, Tommy Reese.
Yeah, him. Has he signed his contract with the Cleveland Browns yet?
Might have.
If they lose their OC before they even get to the February signing day. Oh, please let this happen. I'll admit, this feels this is a preemptive strike, Muse. I'm opening myself up for criticism and ridicule here. When has that ever stopped me before?
Take the hell with it, man. It's so worth it, though, isn't it?
Yeah, please let this happen. Oh, man. 2 weeks at Bama. Back to the land where they throw fish across markets. Back to the land where it rains every day and you never see the sun. Because that's a better reality than Tuscaloosa. Than planting your flag atop a pile of smoldering rubble that has been burning for weeks with no end in sight. I told you, Alabama fans. You did a deal with the devil. You had a lot of success. But the day the 50-yard line right at Bryant-Dennehy Stadium opened up and swallowed Nick Saban whole, he swallowed every damn one of you into the depths of fandom hell, where you will suffer an eternity of terror, where your coach doesn't even stay for 2 weeks. Please leave. Please, Ryan Grubb, please go to the Seahawks. I need this. I don't want the bit to run dry, Muse. I want more Bama burning.
This could carry it on for a good 2 weeks.
Oh, I don't know if it'll carry on for 2 weeks, but I need it to keep going. Then who are they going to hire?
That's what
then
I'm
we
saying.
Open it up.
That's what I'm saying. Could carry it on.
Go get another coordinator from the G5 level.
I would work.
Hey, we got Kane Womack. That's the guy. All right. Boy, that's fun. It'd been a few days.
Yeah.
That was way more fun than doing Around the SEC. Maybe I'll go through these stories for Around the SEC when we come back. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Today is February 1st. Oh, my goodness. Gentlemen, it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks till Valentine's Day. Don't screw it up. Let Lee Michaels help. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, Corporate Boulevard and Bocage, in the Mall of Louisiana. They've got the Lafayette location, the New Orleans location, Shreveport. Because they buy for 10 different stores, they get the best prices, which they can pass along to you. If they don't have what you're looking for, they can always get it or make a custom piece of jewelry that is sure to thrill her. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where you always get the Lee Michaels experience. When you're going to invest and make a special purchase, like a beautiful diamond or a gorgeous piece of jewelry that's going to last and be in your family for generations, don't you want that experience when you make that purchase? Of course you do. It's the Lee Michaels experience. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. Pels win last night. Give you a few thoughts on that. Hear from Willie Green after they snapped their 3-game losing streak. Kendall Rogers in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk a little LSU baseball. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. A ton to do. If you missed it as we started the show, Luke Johnson reporting the Saints look like they are working on restructuring Derek Carr's contract, which means they would be financially bound to him beyond the 2024 season, at least for the 2025 season as well. So our black and gold nightmare looks like it's going to continue. Well, at least we can laugh at Alabama. It's AFR.
AFR.
Not much time left until Fat Tuesday, so that means the clock is ticking for you to get on out there, get to Rouse's, and get your king cakes. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. And Rouse's is shipping king cakes anywhere in the country. So you can go to the website at Rouse's.com. Right there on the homepage, you'll see on the flipper where you can ship your king cakes. So click the flipper where it says free shipping on king cakes, or now shipping on king cakes, and choose which king cake you want when you click the flipper. You can choose which king cake you want. Any of their gourmet king cakes. Maybe you're like me. You just want the plain Jane cinnamon king cake. Gotta leave all that stuff. And you can have it if you want it, but I don't want it. Just give me the plain Jane king cake. Cinnamon, that's what a king cake's supposed to be. But you pick your favorite. You can ship it anywhere in the country or the world, courtesy of Rouse's. Go to Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. You can always download the Rouse's app as well. Rouse's with 69 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama. Rouse's. This feels like home.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me. Oh,
there it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com Or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
1 minute to go.
He can just hold it. They're going to run and double team. Najee going to the rack.
Leave it for Jonas. 2-hand dunk and 1 dagger time.
They're a tough team, and they play tough, and they're scrappy. They force us to have 17 turnovers. I thought we just continued offensively with our force and our pace, got down the floor quickly, made quick decisions, didn't allow their physicality to disrupt us offensively, and then defensively, incredible job by all of our guys, holding them to 40% from the field and 29 from 3. So solid effort on both ends of the floor.
Pels used a 15-0 run to start the fourth quarter to outpace the Houston Rockets. New Orleans snaps its 3-game losing streak. 110-99, they beat the Rockets. So the Pels moved to 27-21 on the season. They're 13-11 now away from the blender. After the game, here was Willie Green talking about the finish to what ended up being a pretty rough January, a rough January for the Pelicans, but finishing on a winning note at 8-7.
We knew we had a tough month ahead of us. We still got a few tough games coming up, but it's really a credit to our staff and our players for continuing to just stick with it and continuing to put in the extra work when no one's looking. And, we'll take it. With all the tough teams that we had, we'll take 8-7 now. We know we could have been better, and we'll try to continue to improve. But like you said, it's good to come out of this month with a winning record.
Back leading the division, and next up, you got a road game at San Antonio, which certainly winnable. That's coming up on Friday. And then Monday, you're back home against Toronto. And then you got a pretty significant 4-game road swing where you're at the Clippers, at the Lakers in back-to-back nights. Then you're at Memphis. At Portland, then at Memphis. So West Coast road swing there after you play at San Antonio, home against Toronto. So 5 of your next 6 are on the road, but you got a good opportunity to get February off to a good start after the win last night for New Orleans. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Brought to you by Pure Restoration. That's the mold thing. Hey, Scone, what's the mold thing you always talk about? Pure Restoration. Pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, sanitization. If you have other harmful pathogens or think you might, been around people that are sick, you want to sanitize a school, a governmental building, it's so easy. They come in, they spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. And when I say that, I want to say it slowly because it's important. Patented non-toxic dry fog. What that means is nobody else can do it. It's their proprietary technology. So nobody else has this patented non-toxic dry fog. You can read about it if you want to learn more. You can call and ask about it. They can explain it to you if that's a better way that you learn. But just understand that you want to sanitize your home or public building. You want to kill mold. You want to remove odor, a gym, a locker room, a workout facility. If it's pet odor, urine, anything else like that, Pure Restoration can help. It's as simply as coming in, spraying their dry fog. As soon as the fog dissipates, boom, you're good to go. Pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. All right, Kendall Rogers here coming up after the top of the hour. Let's do it. We missed it a bit ago because I went off on the Bama is Birmingham. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Kentucky Wildcats.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to interview Kentucky offensive coordinator Liam Cohen for their vacant OC job. Cohen's 38. Remember, he's with the Rams, where he coached Baker Mayfield, who's now in Tampa. But he's back now in Kentucky for his second stint. Could be heading back to the NFL. We'll keep you posted.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Lane Kiffin is adding Billy Glasscock in a general manager role for the Rebels. Glasscock spent the last 3 seasons in Austin with the Longhorns under Sarkisian as the director of player personnel. Prior to that, Glasscock was in Raleigh at NC State and also worked at Northern Illinois.
The Florida Gators.
Marcus Castro Walker joined the Florida football program in 2021 as the director of player engagement and NIL. He is no longer with the Florida football program. He was at the center of the Jaden Rashada thing. Of course, Florida's under the NCAA's microscope now, so Castro Walker no longer with the program.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Former Alabama baseball coach Brad Bohannon, who was fired in May, he got his punishment handed down by the NCAA today. A 15-year show cause, 3 years of probation, and a $5,000 fine. If somebody hires Brad Bohannon, he has to be suspended for 5 years before he can coach. So his coaching career at the college level is done.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
And Tennessee AD Danny White blasted the NCAA in a post on X after the NCAA turned their NIL microscope at Tennessee. We'll continue to follow this more as Tennessee fights back. All right, hour number 2 starts off with Kendall Rogers next.
AFR.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Dan Quinn will be the new head coach of the Washington Commanders.
They believe that other people are spot on in what they say about Dan Quinn, who had been a finalist for other head coaching jobs, and the board just didn't fall his way in recent years. But they feel like they've got a whole energetic, upbeat, positive guy stepping into Washington to help try to lead that team into the future.
Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee Show. For the last 3 years, Quinn was the Cowboys' defensive coordinator. The Packers are hoping to sign quarterback Jordan Love to a long-term contract extension. Love's current deal runs out after the 2024 season. GM Brian Gutekunst says today he'll be talking with Love's agents, even though he can't officially sign an extension until after May 3rd. No LeBron James, no Anthony Davis for the Lakers tonight against the Celtics. James has a sore left ankle. Davis has Achilles and left hip soreness. This is the first game of the season they'll both miss. Coverage at 7 Eastern here on ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Friday, I'll tell you the quarterback that no one is talking about that's going into next year on the hot seat. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. LSU interior offensive line commit Devin Harper 30 minutes from right now. Keylan Moses in studio with us in hour number 3. We're looking forward to that. A lot of people have been looking forward to this. We're just a couple of weeks away from the start of the college baseball season. LSU opens up their title defense. Our buddy Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball, good enough to join us. How are you, dude?
Man, I've been all right. It's been a long day between the Bohannon news and, Mike Martin passing away after a tough battle with dementia. It's been a long day in college baseball, but I'll tell you what, we got, 3 weeks till opening day, and I can't wait.
We are inching closer, man. And I know there's a lot of people here that are clearly going to be locked into this LSU baseball team to see if they can become the first team in more than over a decade to repeat. When you all were going through your preseason rankings, how did you consider, or what did you consider with LSU?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me is, I think some people out there would be like, they lose
the guys they lost and, like, how are they still number 2 and number 3? And I think the biggest thing for me is what's really interesting about this team is, as good as Paul Skeens was, I think this pitching staff as a whole will be deeper. I think it'll be more talented. It'll be deeper. And, whereas last year it's kind of like, hey, they really needed Paul to win every Friday night. I feel like this year they just have a more well-rounded pitching staff. So I think this is going to be an interesting team to start the year in the sense that I think they're kind of locked and loaded from a pitching standpoint. I feel great about that. I do feel like this offense will be one of those that'll certainly be solid. I mean, Jay Johnson always has a very solid offense, but in terms of being elite like last year, I think it's more likely that we'll see an elite offense in May and June as opposed to February. So it's a little different team, but, as frustrating as I think outside of Paul the pitching might have been the last couple of years, I feel like LSU has kind of hit that sweet spot in terms of pitching. When you look at, Gage Jump, I thought Thatcher Hurdmat at the end of last year was pitching at an extremely high level. You throw Luke Holman in the mix, and then, of course, you look at the back end of the bullpen. The fact that LSU is able to kind of have this, let's ease Cam Johnson into this type of approach, gives you an idea of how deep this pitching staff really is going to be.
Hey, Cam Johnson, of course, a lot of people, Kendall, thought was a lock to be a top 10 pick this last summer. Didn't get his number, showed up on campus. He's a lefty who throws 100. That doesn't happen.
That'll play, buddy.
Yeah, man. Hey, what is in some order, if LSU goes Hurd, Holman, Jump, in whatever order in the rotation, how good of a rotation is that in comparison to the SEC or nationally?
It would be in the top 5 for me. I mean, if Thatcher Hurd pitches this year the way he did in the last year in some big moments, I have zero doubt he can be a really good Friday night starter. I mean, if you look at his metrics, I think it was 2 years ago I was in Lafayette in fall ball, and I think I got like a 3250 on his RPMs on his slider or his breaking ball, whatever he wants to call it. That's elite of elite, even at the MLB level. So, I mean, he's got really good metrics. The question is, can he step up and be that Friday night guy? I actually love that order in terms of, Hurd, Holman, Jump. I think Jump is, out of all 3 of those guys, has the most upside. Like, if he clicks and he stays healthy, he can be one of the top 3 or 4 pitchers in college baseball, maybe even the top. And so that gives you an idea of the talent. And I love Luke Holman in the middle there. From a stuff standpoint, he's not going to be Thatcher Hurd. He's probably not even going to be Gage Jump. But what he is going to be is just Mr. Consistent. He's going to sit in the low 90s. He's going to have solid breaking stuff. And what you see one Friday is going to be exactly what you get the next one. So I actually really, really like that order.
He's on Twitter at Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. It's a great time to go subscribe. College baseball season's just about here. Get to d1baseball.com. Offensively, I want to talk about some SEC and other national stuff too, but we're all assuming some things, right? Like even Jay said, he's expecting Paxton Kling to be in the lineup and just to go. Yeah. We know Bear Jones is going to play first. Tommy White's going to play third. So there's some things that are a given. Who's the player that maybe is most intriguing to you, or to say it another way, a player that you feel could take that massive leap this year if he gets 50 starts?
Yeah, I mean, Paxton Kling's the easy answer, and I think the LSU coaching staff would say that for this team to kind of do what they did last year, they're going to need him to step up. That's not to say, and this is to be very fair to Paxton Kling, that's not to say that he needs to be Dylan Cruz. Like, there's nobody in college baseball that can be Dylan Cruz this year. But I think if he can take a step forward, Jake Brown, for me, again, I don't want to put too many high expectations on a true freshman, but Jake Brown was one of the more electrifying young players I've seen in a while. Since Dylan Cruz, it's probably him and the Grohovic kid over at A&M that I saw this past fall as well, that I feel like are 2 of the most exciting freshmen in the country. Just really hard contact, just an excellent runner, just looks the part when he steps in the box. What's really interesting, I was talking to a scouting director about Jake Brown the other day, and they actually thought he was a better pitcher than he is a position player. And I told him, I said, boy, I mean, if he's a better pitcher than what I saw as a position player, he's going to be really, really good in the purple and gold. So, I like him a lot. And I think Jared is the guy I kind of circle is kind of the glue, because here's the thing. When you look back at last year, we can talk all day about Dylan. We can talk about Paul and JT and guys like that. But, man, look at what, Trey did last year in terms of big hits, power, saving runs. You think back to the Wake game in Omaha, he won that game by himself. And so I just think when you look at Bear, he's not only going to need to cut down on strikeouts, he's going to need to be consistent offensively. And, oh, by the way, he's going to have to at least be solid defensively, because, that is a big step down from Trey Morgan.
Couple more for you here. Kendall Rogers is our guest. When I looked at the D1 top 25, Wake is number 1, followed by Florida, Arkansas, then LSU at 4. What is it about Florida and Arkansas that gave them a nose ahead of LSU right now from jump?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you look at Florida, I like a lot of the pieces they have coming back. I mean, obviously getting Jack Caglione back, he took a big step forward on the mound. I think we all kind of saw that in Omaha against LSU, that he had a long way to go from a pitching standpoint. Of course, it was late in the year. He's going to be worn out, but he took a big step forward on the mound. I like getting a guy like Brandon Neely also back from a pitching standpoint. They've got a lot of returning pieces from that offense last year. Obviously, Wyatt Langford's a big one. But for the most part, they return most of their key pieces. I think Arkansas, for me, just a very, very deep pitching staff overall. Them and LSU were like neck and neck for us. I think, offensively, Arkansas is very similar to LSU. I think they're actually very, very comparable clubs. I think they both kind of have the same strengths. They both have the same weaknesses. I just think, for me, as long as Hunter Deep, their talented freshman, speaking of talented freshmen, he has a chance to be just a instant impact superstar on the mound. Assuming he's healthy, I think Arkansas, for me, has a slight edge. But right now, he's banged up. That would have been good to know before we did the top 25. But he's been banged up, and he may not be back until late March. If that's the case, then I probably flip my pick on that one.
Kendall Rogers with us for a couple more minutes. Let me ask a big picture, sort of national question. Everyone always sort of starts with the SEC, right? Whenever you're going to look at top 25 and the best leagues in the country. Where is the power shift in college baseball as you sort of push off from the dock? Where is there a hotbed of teams' talent that could make noise this year?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, I'm really liking the kind of the cut of the Big 12 and the ACC this year. Wake obviously is taking a big step forward, but when we're talking about Florida State and Louisville being the middle tier programs in the ACC, granted those teams have struggled a little bit the last couple of years. But when those kind of programs are now in the middle of the pack in the ACC, that gives you an idea of the direction that league is going. I also love the new look Big 12. When I was doing their preview a couple of weeks ago, I came up with like 8 or 9 teams that I felt like were postseason caliber. That's not always the case in the Big 12. Granted, they did add a few teams. But I think those two leagues are going to be really good. And the real kind of question mark for me, which is ironic considering it's their last year as a league, is the Pac-12. I have no idea what to think about the Pac-12. Stanford has a lot of holes. UCLA has a lot of holes. Oregon State is probably the one constant, but outside of Oregon State, the West Coast is absolutely wide open.
Man, it's almost here, and we're excited for it. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Kendall Rogers, college baseball's preeminent writer, and, of course, D1Baseball.com, D1Baseball.com. You're the best, man. We're looking forward to doing it again plenty throughout the season.
Talk to you soon, man.
All right, Kendall.
Bye.
Be well. That is Kendall Rogers. This is after further review. Interesting. That is an interesting thought about the Big 12. Remember, we got to see the Big 12 as an expanded football conference for the first time this year. It will be an expanded baseball conference that we'll see as well with Cincinnati and Central Florida and BYU and Houston. So how does that maybe shift, or does it shift the balance of power with the Big 12? One thing's for certain, man. When you look at D1 Baseball's preseason top 25, it is just absolutely chock full, as it always is, of SEC teams. Florida at 2, Arkansas at 3, LSU at 4, Vandy at 6, A&M at 9, at 8, Tennessee at 9. Just a loaded top 25. There's Alabama at 19, and South Carolina at 25. So the SEC, it's always a meat grinder going through this league, but it's almost here. We're excited to get it started. All right, it's after further review. I'm glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Traction, TractionSports.com. And so much elite baseball talent cuts their teeth and gets started over at Traction. Of course, Traction, their spring leagues are begun practice, as a matter of fact. So if your son or daughter wants to play baseball or softball, Traction spring leagues have begun their preseason workouts. Get to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. And next week is Mardi Gras. So if your son or daughter is going to be out of school for Mardi Gras week, Traction has baseball and speed camps next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So full and half-day options are available. You can go get the info at TractionSports.com. That's TractionSports.com. While your son or daughter's out of school next week, let them get better. Send them over to Traction. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. Okay, bottom of this hour, about 17 minutes, Devin Harper is going to be here with us. Offensive lineman out of Calvary Baptist, committed to LSU over the weekend. looking forward to that. And we'll have Keylan Moses in studio with us 1 hour from right now. Really looking forward to talking to some LSU recruiting with some of those big-time personalities in the class of 2025. Okay, well, now I got a quick break. Come back. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. You know I love giving you these 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Ryan Saher, who said, respectful, great communication, on time, and fast with their service. Said, not sure price-wise how they match, but never have to worry from a service standpoint. That's the bottom line. No matter how many different companies you want to call, the bottom line with River City's 1 Hour Air, they will always be on time. You will always have an expertly trained technician. You will always get the work done right at a fair price. They guarantee it. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, 1hourbr.com. For River City's 1 Hour Air.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
As the gladiators of the gridiron battle it out for football's biggest prize, you'll be battling it out for one of radio's biggest prizes.
Wow.
It's the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Big Game Contest,
Yeah, it is.
where you could win $50,000 cash
Holy moly.
if your name is drawn from the pot and you've correctly guessed the final score of the game. Get your score guesses in now at 1045ESPN.com.
I feel like I shouldn't say anything, but I want to say something.
Yeah, say it. It's your show.
And I'm also the program director of this radio.
There you go.
But there's also people who sign my paychecks who I'd rather not piss off. Those kind of contests, though, come on. I mean, you got to give people at least a chance to win. So your name has to be drawn, and you have to pick the exact score correctly.
Yeah.
Come on.
$50K, man. It's big number, big prize there.
I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 70 gajabillion. If you nail it, I'll give you $1 million. Okay. Got it. But I love whenever they happen. Like whenever that guy, did you see the guy that putted a ball the length of a basketball court and had to go into a hole like the size of a golf ball, and he won a bottle of Pappy 15? Did you see that?
I did not. I missed that. That's awesome.
Look at Twitter. It was like
so was it like a tube he was trying to put it into, or was just like what was on the other side of the hole, I guess is my question.
So it was like at the end of he's like, he had a putt like the length of the
court.
He had a putt like the length of the court. And so it was like a wooden, structure, and at the bottom there was a hole, like almost like a little mouse door,
Okay.
And so he had to putt the length of the court and had to hit it through the hole, and he hit it and won like a bottle of Pappy 15.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That's real good. Yeah, the funny thing is he's probably a terrible putter. Like if you actually took him on a golf course, he's probably awful.
By the way, Devin Harper is fired up.
Yes, let's go.
He's really excited to come on the show. He just hit me with it. I was like, still good in about 15 minutes? Like, yes, sir. We're like 15 hours. I was like, let's go, Devin
Here comes
Harper.
the energy.
I'm ready, dude. Big, nasty offensive lineman bringing that energy. I love it. So good. He was like, hey, do I have to get like a camera and stuff for this? Because, man, I'm going to be sweaty after just working out. Hit me with some laughing emojis. I'm like, dude, you're good. We'll do it just by phone. Call him. I'm fired up to talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean.
He sounds like a guy.
Yeah, man. And then Keylan Moses in studio coming up. Be good. Colin Hurley cut his hair.
Wait, he doesn't have the the fro anymore?
Colin Hurley cut his hair. Look at this. We got to get our guy on the phone. So Colin Hurley just posted a picture on Twitter. Look at him working out. Do you remember Colin Hurley? So the early enrollee quarterback that for the class of 2024, who from Florida had the big hair. He cut his hair. Look.
He's kind of got not at that picture. Never mind.
Crazy.
Wow.
What in that one?
I was going to say, in that one, he's kind of got like a little Skylar Mays look going in a way.
Looks like LaRon Landry.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Not nearly as big a biceps.
No.
But looks neck up.
Neck up, yeah.
That's Ricky Collins behind him. And then there's Garrett Nussmeier back right.
Ricky found the hair that Colin lost.
There's Ricky. And, my bad. There's Ricky, and there's Nuss. Found him.
There we go.
Just
the towel on the neck. It's classic Jim look.
Got it. All right. Hey, Drew Brees. What?
Just there's no way to really transition from the backup quarterback cutting his hair to a Hall of Famer in Drew Brees.
I got it. Speaking of quarterbacks with short hair,
okay.
Drew Brees was at a small sliders opening today and met with reporters there, and he was asked about the importance of the Saints OC. I told you I could do it. I mean, who are you talking to? Professional radio guy here. I mean, what is this, my 12,000th show? You think I couldn't hit a transition from Colin Hurley to Drew Brees?
You didn't just go into it immediately, so I was like, maybe we didn't have anything right there.
It was a layup.
It sounded funny when you did it the first time.
Just moving on. And now you bogged us down there, Muse. That's what you just did. You bogged. You're a bogger is what you are. You bogged us. Speaking of quarterbacks with short hair, Drew Brees was at a small sliders opening and was asked by reporters there about the importance of the Saints OC hire. Here's what he said.
It's huge. You want to have a system that fits your quarterback. I mean, look, if you're building this thing around Derek Carr, he has to have input. He has to. Or at least you're choosing an offensive coordinator or an offensive system based on his strengths and what he does really well. And then you're building that team around him.
A couple of things there about what Drew said. So first of all, he's absolutely right. If you're committed to Derek Carr, then he either has to have input or you have to build around him. That's undeniable. Like, you have to hire an offensive coordinator that is going to suit Derek Carr's strengths. It's why whenever we were Brian Johnson. We were talking about Brian Johnson from the Eagles. That's why Brian Johnson doesn't make sense for this job. Brian Johnson has been a lot of places. He was in the Urban Meyer, Dan Mullen, Utah, Florida, Mississippi State with Dan Mullen, and then with Jalen Hurts with the Eagles. He's only ever run systems with mobile quarterbacks. Well, that's not Derek Carr. Brian Johnson doesn't make sense. So yes, when you're making this hire, you have to do it with Derek Carr in mind. When you're drafting or going through free agency, you have to make those decisions with Derek Carr in mind if you are committing to Derek Carr. And the news we got earlier today from Luke Johnson is that the Saints are apparently in the process of restructuring Derek Carr's contract. Of course, the Saints are $80 million over the cap, so they've got to rework contracts to get that cap number lower. Well, the way that you do that ultimately is you're gonna convert salary to signing bonus and spread it out over future years. What all that means is the Saints are going to be financially committed to Derek Carr for longer now. But as of now, they can off-ramp after this season, after 2024. But if they restructure his deal, they are financially committing to him for longer. So they are prolonging our long black and gold nightmare. But Drew Brees is right. If you're committing to Derek Carr, then you have to give him the necessary tools to succeed. Brees was also asked about Allen and Carr being booed at home.
I would take that as a compliment. It just means we have high expectations around here, which there's nothing wrong with that. I would almost spin that around and look at that as, we've got a fan base who deserves a winner, who loves our team, and it will always be there to support our team. But, man, they've got high expectations now just based on what we've been able to accomplish around here. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think we just have to embrace that.
Hell of a spin job there by Drew. But yes, right. By the way, we got a break. Going to get to Devin Harper. Here's the video, though, Muse. So we'll play it. So this was at Louisville. It was at a Louisville basketball game. It makes sense because Kentucky, Bourbon Country, all that stuff. Yeah. So this fan is putting from one baseline, and he's got to putt all the way across the court into a little bitty hole, and he'd win a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle 15-year.
This is like legitimately on the court, too. They didn't
he's on the court.
They didn't put a mat down
from one baseline all the way across the court. Here you go. Here's the video. All right. Oh, by the way, shout out to Chuck Bro. Got Chuck Bro, who sent me the video on Twitter. Thank you, Chuck. Shout out. ChuckBroArt.com. ChuckBroArt.com. Hard to follow. There it is. There it is. Here we go.
He's got some speed. Look at that.
Oh, nailed it. So he won a Pappy 15. Google Google Pappy 15. Pappy Van Winkle 15 real quick. Even just Pappy 15 will do it. And what'll pop up is you'll see secondary market pricing.
Yeah, $2,400. That's a bunch of them. Never mind.
2,400.
Yeah,
you probably find them for more than that as well.
And then here's one 2150.
Wow. Don't drop that bottle, dude.
Here's a 10, 12, 15, 20, and 23-year bundle for $12,700.
I'm surprised it's that low.
Here's one for $4,000. 15-year-old bourbon Pappy.
I'm telling you, bro, bourbon people are crazy. Whiskey people are crazy. All right, I'm one of them. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, LSU fans got great news over the weekend. Devin Harper, one of the top players in Louisiana for the class of 2025. Big offensive lineman out of Calvary Baptist up in the 318. He's going to join us next. We're looking forward to it. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries. Man, I've loved the opportunity to tell you about Action Industries, but I'm excited today to be able to share a testimonial. And this isn't so much as a testimonial as it is an opportunity or an engagement from a client encouraging other businesses to do business with Action Industries. This is I'm not going to tell you the name of the company. I'll respect that, but they hired Action Industries, and this is a company that does work in more than 100 companies. They hired Action Industries and said, I highly recommend Action Industries for any construction or demolition needs. The quality of work is excellent. Their commitment to safety is exceptional. Action performed efficiently and safely over the 24-month period of demolition and construction. They go on and on and on. Compliments of safety and performance occurred routinely throughout the project. Those are the types of things you hear when you work with Action Industries. Check them out online or on Facebook. It's Action Industries.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
Well, you follow LSU football, you know they're building what could amount to an historic 2025 signing class, and a big, both literal and figurative part of that is 2025 interior offensive lineman Devin Harper out of Calvary Baptist, who committed to LSU over the weekend. And Devin Harper's good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Devin, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Man, we're happy that you're here. Hey, give me a sense as to why you decided to pull the trigger and declare for LSU right now.
I just felt like it was the right time. You know, I went down for the Cajun Bash with my mom, and we had a great time. She had quality time with Coach Kelly and Coach Davis, and I had LSU on my heart since I got the offer. You know, I'm an in-state kid. My dream school, always been a fan of the Tigers. So throughout my whole recruiting process, it was like holding other schools to like the LSU standard. Like, how does it compare to LSU? So, I mean, that just raining on my heart, and I knew it was the right time, so I just decided to go ahead and pull the trigger.
Hey, man, let's go to the Cajun Bash if we could. I would love to know what an event like that is like. So walk me through it, man. You come down, and what are the things that you do, and what are the things that stand out about an event like that?
Really just quality time, you know, getting to know the coaches better and them getting to know you on a personal level. You know, you go to a game, you don't really get that personal level of connection with the coaches because they're on the field coaching and busy with game day stuff. But at a junior day, you know, you get a personal level of connection. You know, you get to sit down and talk about everything, not just football. And you just really get to get a good feel for the people that you're going to be with.
Tell me about Brad Davis, both as a person and as a coach.
Coach Brad Davis is a wonderful man. You know, he's a father of two, so he treats all his players like they're his own, and he's just a great person overall. He'll tell you when you're wrong, he'll tell you when you're right, but at the end of the day, he loves you. So, but as a coach, he's one of the best in the business, as you know. He's developed 2 first-round tackles, like Emory Jones, Will Campbell. Those are the 2 most recent. He has NFL guys, but those are the 2 most recent guys, and we just want to continue on that trail.
Yeah, man, he's a stud.
He's a stud.
He's got a bunch of good ones, man. I know you'll be the next one. Hey, let me ask you the same question about Brian Kelly. Tell me about Coach Kelly.
Coach Kelly, great man. My mom loved Coach Kelly. We got to go in his office and talk to him and just spend quality time. And as a coach, as we all know, he's a winner. He's a developer. We went in there and saw all the NFL players on his wall, and it was amazing how many great players he has on his wall. But as a person, good guy, real down to earth, very relatable, and I love him.
Devin Harper's our guest, 2025 offensive lineman from Calvary Baptist, committed to LSU over the weekend. One of the things that you said when we started here, Devin, was staying home, Louisiana. That was your standard in-state school. I want you to elaborate, if you could, a little bit on that. Like, being a kid from Louisiana and having the opportunity to represent LSU, it's something we hear a lot of guys from the state talk about, but what does that mean to you?
Really just that home bond with the staff. Most of the staff is from Louisiana, such as like Brad Davis, that I'll be connected with heavily. But most of the staff members are they go to LSU or they went to LSU or just from Louisiana, just from the state as a whole. So just that bond and relationship, it just wasn't the same with other schools. I mean, I had great relationships with other schools, but that home bond and just being able to relate to each other and just for the state and the love of Louisiana, it was just different.
And it's something we hear a lot. It's the advantage is the dirt, man, being from Louisiana where there's so much talent and kids want to play at LSU. This 2025 class that y'all are building, I mean, you don't need me to tell you this. I mean, it's
amazing.
It's the number 1 class in the country. One thing that I hear from a lot of fans is, man, with so long to go between now and signing day, can they keep this class together? What do you say to that?
I don't think that would be a problem at all. The coaches, the staff, they are real genuine. So what we getting right now is what we're gonna get at the end before we sign that paper. So I think this group is a tight knit group. I'm still getting to know a few guys, but for the most part, I know everybody. Bryce Underwood hit me up, so I can't wait to block for that guy. But as a whole, Harlan Berry, I met with him and his dad. Brett Borderline, me and him have been connected for a long time. Me and Jabari, we're real cool and close. So, I mean, as far as the recruiting group, it's tight-knit, and we plan on staying at LSU, as a brotherhood. And Decorian Moore, I forgot about him. I met him at my other visit before this. Real good guy, so an athlete stud. So we're gonna plan to keep this. We plan to keep this group together and keep building the number 1 class in the country.
Man, is there? Do y'all talk about that as a class where you say, hey, let's build the best class and do it together? Do y'all talk about that internally among yourselves?
Yes. Well, actually, Bryce Underwood texted me yesterday and told me we're gonna keep turning it up. So we're not done yet. So we plan on keep getting guys. We got DJ Pickett. I don't know if he's still in Baton Rouge, but he was just on his visit. He's an out-of-state guy, but we still want to get him in the brotherhood, and welcome him to the family. So
saw the picture of DJ Pickett with Corey Raymond, and then I know Keylan Moses was also there. Took a picture of him holding the national.
Oh wow! I forgot to mention Keylan Moses. Keylan Moses is the greatest recruiter of all time. Greatest recruiter of all time.
All right, wait, so actually, Keylan's going to be in studio with us here in about 30 minutes from right now. So what makes? I mean, he has been very vocal about wanting to be kind of the Pied Piper of this class, right? But what has made him this great recruiter? You say he's the greatest of all time. Why?
Man, his passion. when he's talking about LSU, he just makes you want to go suit up and play right then. You know, he's from Baton Rouge, which is right there. He goes to U High, so he knows all about LSU. And I took into what he was telling me. I know he's like firsthand, so I know what he was telling me was true. So just him like laying down the platform for this class and just promoting LSU is just amazing.
I got a couple more minutes here with Devin Harper. We appreciate so much the time, man. I want to ask you some actual football. When I ask you your style as an interior offensive lineman, how do you describe your style of play?
Nasty. I like to bully guys. You know, I like to take people's will. So as far as just my style, you know, in pass protection, I try to be more of a technician, but in the run game, I just get down and dirty and try to run dudes into the dirt.
Where do you need to improve?
I say I'm dirty, I'm nasty in the run game, but my technique could definitely improve. And so that's a big part for me going into this offseason, just being able to sprint off the ball and knock people into the dirt, which I do pretty good right now, but I just want to get better at it. In pass pro, you know, I feel like my pass protection has been elite so far as high schools in the country, so I'm just going to keep building on that.
What side of the line are you more comfortable on?
Left right now. I'm trying to build both so I can be versatile.
So you play left guard, but you could try to play right as well?
No, right now in high school I play left tackle.
You're playing tackle,
so
yeah.
I've been playing tackle since my freshman year. So I'm sure at the college level I'll probably move inside or I'll stay at left tackle, just depending on what the situation is. But as far as like size of the line, I'm most comfortable on the left, and I think I could play left guard or left tackle right now.
It makes sense. Everybody puts their best offensive lineman at left tackle, so you play that in high school and you figure out what it is at the next level. Yeah, I know they have you listed as an interior offensive lineman. So is that what the coaches talk to you about, playing guard, or do they talk to you about playing tackle?
It's really both. It's just like I said, just depending on the situation. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds, so I could play tackle, but it's just depending on the situation and what we have in the room at that point.
My next question, I'm looking at your listing here at On3 where they have you at 6'5", 287. So you're 6'5", 300 right now?
Yes, I'm 300 pounds.
Dude, 6'5", 300 as a high school. We got to remind people you're a high school junior. Like you'll be going into your senior year. So talk to me a little bit about like targets there. I mean, I don't think you want to get to like 330 to play tackle, but like what's your target? Where do you want to be?
Well, the last 2 years I've been playing at about 295 during season. So I put on about 5 pounds of muscle. I'm feeling good, looking good right now. So my target for this season, I'll try to stay in this range from 300 to like 305. And when I get to the college campus, allow them to bulk me up and do whatever they need to do with my body.
Yo, follow him on all the social media channels. Twitter is at Devin Harper 2025, and Instagram is dharp_. Young, go give him a follow on all the social media. Shout out Devin Harper, a new LSU commit for the class of 2025. Solid, huh, man? No more visits or anything, or are you going to take some visits still?
I actually have a visit Saturday with Ole Miss, but it's just really just for me to get on the road with my guys from Captain Shreve. So I have Coach Kirby, which was my head coach, Dustin Rivera, which was my O-line coach, and my former teammate, Lionel Prudhomme. Mm-hmm. He's a interior lineman as well. We're going down to Ole Miss. I probably won't even take any pictures. It's just to go have a good time with the guys.
Go do some recon and tell Lane we said hello.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's all. That's all. That's the nation.
Devin Harper, hey man, this was fun. Thanks so much for taking some time. We appreciate you, bud.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me on.
We'll do it again. Devin Harper, member of the class of 2025 for LSU, a high 4-star, top 150 overall prospect. 247 has him at number 111 overall. ESPN has him as number 106 overall in the country. The number 3 player in the state of Louisiana. 247 has him as the number 2 player in the state of Louisiana. But when you look at the composite, the On3 industry ranking, he is the number 7 interior offensive lineman in the country for 2025, and he's part of this LSU class, which just continues to build. That was fun, man. Appreciate him. You could tell. All these guys talk about it, man. Being from Louisiana, being able to play for LSU, being from Louisiana. I mean, we can say it all the time, but when you hear it from a high school kid from Louisiana, and they say it passionately. It just hits a little different. So we appreciate Devin Harper. Good stuff there. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. You know where to find them, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. So get to ShawBillsTire.com to find the location nearest you. Again, ShawBillsTire.com. They got the mobile site as well, so if you just pull it up on your smartphone, you'll find it. The couple things that are really easy. Go to the bottom right of the home screen. You'll see the little text bubble. If you want to chat with an associate to schedule service or whatever, just hit the little text bubble, pick the location nearest you, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, just like that. You're chatting with an associate that can help you schedule service or whatever you need. And remember, I always tell you about the great promotions at Shawbills. Hit the promotions tab, and you'll see everything that they have. Bridgestone, BF Goodrich, Firestone, Michelin, all repair service offers as well. They're going to get you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible, and they're always going to treat you like family. It's Shawbills. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, y'all, it's After Further Review. Mentioned Keylan Moses, who's going to be in studio with us here shortly. Is scheduled to be with us at 5:15 Central, so about 30 minutes from right now. But if he gets here early, we'll let him pop in early, of course. If he's, I think he might actually show up a little bit early. So if he is, we'll start the hour with him. We're not going to break. Muse will have Tigers in the pros when we come back. Man, we just got a whole bunch of stuff that we haven't even quite gotten to yet. Pels were a winner last night. If you missed the report earlier today from Luke Johnson, the New Orleans Saints are, according to Luke Johnson, expected to restructure Derek Carr's contract, which would financially extend his time in New Orleans. So we've been reacting to that a little bit. Senior Bowl updates, and also the other big news out of the SEC from Mike Florio over at Pro Football Talk. Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator who just went with Kalen DeBoer from Washington to Alabama, he is very much on the short list for the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator job. So before they ever even get on the practice field for spring football, Kalen DeBoer could be looking for a new offensive coordinator. So we'll keep you posted there as that moves along. All right, it's After Further Review. I'm not going to break. Top of the hour, we'll come back. Muse will do Tigers in the pros. And we got Sports Center on top of the hour coming up here in about 15 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you are a business owner, you need Glow Resources. If you're a business owner that has struggled in the hiring area, you've struggled to find qualified employees that will stay, you need Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com. Yep, Glow Resources. They're based out of Baton Rouge. Gorgeous new corporate headquarters right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge, on Quail Oak, right near Pennington. If you haven't seen it, trust me, drive down Perkins, you'll see it. But they've also got offices in New Orleans and Houston and Miami and all over. And they place employees in different jobs all over the country and the world, as a matter of fact. Yes, skilled blue-collar labor, but also a white-collar division. So if you need to hire management positions, Glow Resources can help. Stop going through the hiring rat race. Trust Glow Resources. It's glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com. Glow Resources. They are complete employer solutions.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, let's start it off with Cam Thomas. Big night for him. Brooklyn Nets. They didn't fall to the Suns, but Cam dropped 25 off of 11 of 19 shooting.
Is that good?
That's not bad. It plays. 4 assists and 2 steals for the former Tiger there. Of course, we told you yesterday in a preview of this game that Ben Simmons was going to miss with a left knee contusion, had some swelling. No update from head coach Jacques Vaughn after the game, but we will keep you posted on Ben's status. Naz Reid last night, near miss on the double-double. 12 points, 8 rebounds, all on a bench roll. 26 minutes, though, shooting 40% from the floor, plus 23. He's been killing the plus-minus this season.
Should have
stayed. And Duop Reith last night off the bench. Very efficient night for him with 10 points. Grabbed 4 rebounds, 4 of 6 from the floor for Duop. And the Portland Trailblazers, a rare winner last night, running the record to 15 and 33 overall on the season. Out to Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Sam Burns. He's in another good position after one round. He was playing Spyglass Hill, not Pebble Beach today. He'll play that tomorrow. But shot 4 under par, all on the back 9. Was even through, even going out, 4 under coming in. He is currently tied for 5th out there on the Monterey Peninsula. That is Tigers in the pros. The Korn Ferry Tour is off today. I checked. Sorry.
Why do you hate Curtis Thompson?
I don't hate Curtis Thompson. I literally went to look and see if he was playing.
You could have called him, texted him, see
I don't
what
have
he's
his
up
number.
to today. Well, have you tried?
No.
See, there's no effort there. That's got to be.
We'll hit him up on social at Bomb Squad LSU.
See, and he's even got a great handle.
It's a legit,
it's a great
so
handle,
good. Strong,
and yet you routinely ignore him.
He's great, man. He's
you
a guy I
only
love
point
him.
out when he loses.
That's not true.
I don't get it. I don't know where that hate is read so
There's
deep,
no hate.
so deeply in you.
There's no hate. I even went to see if they had a tournament going on right now. I don't.
So, just so that you could point out if you had a bad round.
No. I just hear. I give you what the guys did. That's it. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's not always sunshine and roses.
I know how you roll. It's okay. You're just so negative. Mr. Negative is what I'm going to call you from now on. Only when we're talking about Curtis Thompson.
Only when, okay.
All right, we're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. I got a tweet earlier today from a gentleman who said, "Hey Matt, what's the land company that you and Big Ben always talk about?" Of course, that's Big Ben McDonald. It's First South Farm Credit. If you're looking at buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. First South Farm Credit has helped Louisiana buy land for more than 100 years, since 1916. So it's this simple. If you're looking to buy land, maybe it's agriculture, Maybe it's a recreational property. You want that hunting property. Maybe it's that there's 10, 20 acres that you want to buy in Zachary or St. Francisville or wherever it may be, in Frost, wherever. You want to buy your family's and build your family's dream home on a big piece of land. First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Ben McDonald bought his hunting property. Actually, his property in Mississippi. It doesn't just have to be Louisiana. They have 44 branches across 3 different states, but they can help you buy land in any of the contiguous 48. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. That's firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. All of the NFL head coaching vacancies are now filled. And Bill Belichick did not get a job, which means Belichick is, it would appear, out of the NFL for the 2024 season. Michael Lombardi was on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and answered why Bill Belichick isn't in the NFL right now.
Well, I think a lot of it is the guard your desk mentality that resonates in the NFL and the fact that people haven't even interviewed Bill. I mean, can you imagine you're the Washington football team and you're not even going to interview Bill? I mean, seriously, and you're going to send a message to your fan base. We are committed to excellence. The guy's won 6 Super Bowls. He's the best coach I've ever been around in my life, and I've been around some really great coaches. And his energy level at his age is far superior to a lot of guys. I mean, so it's kind of interesting. And what does it cost you? If I were Adam Peters, who actually worked in New England, why wouldn't I want to bring Belichick in and at least pick his brain to learn how I could do my job at the highest level? So for me, it's really about protection.
You hear what he said? Protect your desk. Essentially what he's saying is there are general managers around the NFL that didn't want to hire their replacement because Bill Belichick is going to want control over personnel aside from just being the head coach. So they didn't want to hire the guy that's going to replace him. Fascinating times. Guy won 6 Super Bowls. Can't get a job in the NFL. All right, it's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. Keylan Moses in studio with us when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. 76 years in business. Incredible. It's incredible for any business to last 76 years. Think about just in the last year, 5 years, how many businesses you drive by that have come and gone. 76 years through wars and through economic upticks and downturns, through the global pandemic. Michelli Weighing and Measurement continuing to thrive, continuing to grow, and they've continued to be local. Their corporate office is right there in Harahan, but now they have 30 offices across 11 different states. Hey, they're hiring. They're always looking for great employees. If you're interested in a career instead of a job, go to Michelli.com. You can hit the careers tab at the top of the page. Michelli. It's Michelli.com, Michelli.com for Michelli Weighing and Measurement. At Michelli, we show the world what measurement can do. Michelli.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time to slip away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Commanders have the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. They have 5 picks in the top 100, and now they have a new head coach. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn gets the job in Washington. He takes over for Ron Rivera. ESPN's Kimberly A. Martin.
He will have input on the draft and all that, but it's not going to be the same amount of power that Ron Rivera had from a personnel standpoint. I think that's what a lot of people criticize Ron for. The personnel plus the players on the field, the production wasn't where it needed to be.
Kimberly A. Martin on First Take. The Commanders hired new GM Adam Peters less than 3 weeks ago. Celtics and Lakers tonight on ESPN Radio. Coverage starting at 7 Eastern. LeBron James and Anthony Davis both out for the Lakers. James with left ankle soreness. Davis with left hip spasms and Achilles soreness in both feet. Knicks forward Julius Randle will be out at least 2 to 3 weeks with a dislocated right shoulder. Randle got hurt last Saturday against the Miami Heat.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
I'll let it slide. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Get out there and make it an awesome one. It is impossible, if you are an LSU fan, to not have been paying attention or be aware of what Keylan Moses is doing, helping build the 2025 LSU class. Devin Harper, who committed over the weekend, was with us just about 30 minutes ago. And when I mentioned Keylan's name, he said, "That's the greatest recruiter in the world." Well, the greatest recruiter in the world is sitting to my left right now. Keylan Moses in studio with us. 2025 4-star out of U-High here in Baton Rouge. How are you, man?
You know, I'm doing good. Just a little tired, but, you know, I had to put that work in all day. So it's been a pretty hectic day, but I'm here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for being here. What's a day like for you right now? So you had to put the work in all day. You're a high school junior heading toward your senior year. What's a day like for you right now?
So throughout the week, I'm working out maybe 2 or 3 times a day. You know, I wake up early in the morning around 4:30. Well, no, 4. I leave the house around 4:30, and I go to Traction. Shout out to Traction. Shout out to Tevin Bowden.
Young Tev getting a shout out. It only took us 60 seconds into this convo. Young Tev's already getting a shout out.
Yeah, so that's my trainer, Tevin. And afterwards, you know, I take a shower at my friend's house, and I head to school. You know, school's 8 hours, and then after school, I head to football. Then after football, I go to track. Then after track, I may have, you know, a DB session with Ken Anio, or if not, I'm at home doing homework or just chilling. So, yeah.
What events do you do in track?
4x2, 4x1, 100, and 200.
You're sprinting.
Yeah.
So you said you do DB drills. Are you going to play DB or linebacker at the next level?
Linebacker, but it's always good to be, you want to do everything you can as a player.
It's always good to be fast?
Yeah, fast and just versatile. You know, coaches love that.
Yeah, man. That's incredible. I was prepared for you to tell me you were doing like some field events.
Oh,
But no, you're sprinting.
Yeah, sprinting. You always got to be fast. That's the major thing coaches look for in a player, you know, speed.
It's I'm glad you went through that, because I think sometimes, I think there's a lot of adults listening to us right now hearing you say you wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and just let out an audible groan, because the thought of getting up at 4 a.m. to do anything, let alone go work.
You got to be really disciplined to do that. And, you know, considering I want to graduate early, you want to have that type of mentality. You got to get up and grind. You know, you got to be willing to do anything for that team. So to have that mindset, I might as well start early instead of later.
Where did that mindset come from?
I guess you could say watching my older brother and, you know, the people around me. So if you want to be the best, you got to do the bad things to get to the great things.
Is any of that innate? Meaning you can watch other people do it, but you still have to be, to a degree, a self-starter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have, like your brother played high-level college football, played in the NFL. There's people who have siblings that play in the NFL that don't have the same drive or motivation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But clearly you have it. So have you always been that way?
No, as soon as I realized I could be, you know, the one to provide for my family, you know, my mother, I knew it was more than just me. Because, at the start of my recruitment, I'll be honest, I didn't want to go to LSU. But considering I did, you know, there's more factors than just me. It's just my mom and my little brother. So, you know, there's things I got to do to take care of them. So, you know, when I wake up and have that little moan and groan, I don't want to get up. I just think about them and the people I'm taking care of and the people I stayed home for. So that's really what drives me.
It's super mature, man. Are you 16?
I just turned 17 in November.
Just turned 17.
Yeah.
High school junior, 17 years old.
Yeah.
That's that's a very mature outlook for a guy any age, let alone 17 years old. You said that initially when your recruitment started, you didn't want to go to LSU. Why?
Well, I wanted to, you know, see things outside of Louisiana. I wanted to, I knew there was bigger and better things outside of Louisiana. Like, you know, I wanted to explore. You know, one of my main things when I was younger was traveling. When my older brother was going through his recruitment process, one of his main things was going everywhere. And mind you, me and my little brother were literally everywhere with him. So going around traveling, driving everywhere was like the best thing of it. I didn't know what was going on, but it was so fun. So, I just wanted to experience life outside of Louisiana. But as time went on and the list started to get more slim, the boot was the only option.
Yeah.
Staying home and being that hometown hero and just providing for my family and being that family name, and just there's nothing like being a big name in your own your own state, and just, you know, looking out for the kids you've been around for the longest. So it's a lot that goes into being at home and staying at home, but the major part of it is taking care of my mom and my little brother.
Yeah. You were when Dylan was going through his recruitment, you would have been 6, 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8.
So
those ages.
What do you remember about like schools or coaches? Like what things? I think it's interesting. Like when we start to remember things, that's probably about the age.
Yeah.
You know, I think about, okay, what are the first memories I have? Probably about that age. So what are the things you remember?
So I remember just a lot of coaches and people like liking him. Like that's all I remember. I also remember him just being really good.
He was a good player.
Yeah, I just knew we were going to a bunch of schools and a bunch of places. I didn't know where we were going. I just knew we was going to a bunch of places that weren't home. So, you know, it was pretty cool watching that. But of course I didn't know what was going on. But as I got older, I started to put the pieces together. But, you know, at the time, I was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I was happy to be a part of the ride. So,
yeah,
that's the only thing I remember.
Keylan Moses is in studio with us. I got a lot that I want to talk about with you. One of the things that you have said a bunch publicly is like a commitment you made to Brian Kelly to be in the sort of lead recruiter, this Pied Piper. Why do you feel like you have that responsibility?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. When I first committed, it wasn't meant for me to commit. The time I went there, I wasn't planning on committing. I actually went to talk to Coach Frank one day, and that was the time I wanted to, you know, that was around the time I wanted to commit, because I knew I wanted to commit before my senior year and to really fully focus on my team. I wanted to commit and just, you know, get the recruitment process out of the way, because my senior year is the only year and the last year before my college process. And, you know, I wanted to fully dedicate my time to my team and myself to, you know, get my body right and really just focus on my team, because at the end of the day, I want to get a state championship and be with those guys, because, I mean, that's my last time being with those guys. So I went up there, you know, I wanted to talk to them because they were, of course, going to be in my, you know, list that slimmed down from almost 30 to like 8 in such a slim time. But, you know, I went up there and I asked Coach Frank, why was I one of y'all's guys? Like, why was I so important? And he basically explained to me, like, what I'm doing now, you know, recruiting guys and my love for the university. I mean, it's nothing like no other. And I love this university. I love everything about it. I love being an LSU Tiger. I love everything that comes with it. I mean, the dog mentality, the swag they had. I mean, at the time when I was 8, I used to watch Tyrann Mathieu highlights, Leonard Fournette highlights. I mean, all those guys. And both those guys stayed home. And, you know, there was a big reason for it. They wanted to be a hometown hero, and I wanted to be just like them. And, you know, keeping guys in home and grabbing guys out from out of state, I mean, there's nothing like that. There's nothing more than just bringing those guys and teaching them about BK's plan, because, I mean, there's nothing more like it. We're coming in. It's big. I mean, he just needs to get his feet wet these first 2 years. And now that he has the guys, like, you know, I'm not going to say too much on the 2024 class because we still coming with that, but we still coming with that. But the 2024 class is getting bigger and bigger day by day. And, you know, all he needed was to get his feet wet, you know, and the plan is just getting better and better. As you can see, we got the best defensive staff in the country with the best fan base. I mean, it doesn't get better than being an LSU Tiger. So, I mean, that's all I advocate to these guys. You know, I mean, you can't necessarily beat LSU. I mean, you could beat the team, but you can't beat them for what it's for. I mean, being an LSU Tiger is just different from anybody else. And being from here is different. You know, you could be out of state and be an LSU Tiger, but being here and being an LSU Tiger, it means a lot. I mean, you carry that weight on your name. You carry that weight everywhere you go. And it's just a lot. And I have a lot of love for this team, and I have a lot of love for Brian Kelly himself for coming in and, you know, taking in our heritage and our culture and, you know, blending it in from wherever he came from and, you know, taking it out on guys like me. So I'm glad they gave me an opportunity to, you know, get guys like Bryce Underwood, Harlem Barrett, Decorian Moore. But, I mean, I felt like it was my purpose to, you know, give out his word and, you know, be one of his ambassadors to, you know, get those guys and up his plan in a way. I
loved your tweet a couple of days ago when you said, like, maybe they should put me on payroll.
No, because a lot of people have been saying that. They've been commenting that under my Instagram handle and my Twitter handle. They'll be like, you got to be getting paid for this type of stuff. Like, you're just getting everybody you need and everybody you want. I mean, it's just the way I, you know, produce it to people, advocate it to people. So
should I really be on payroll? I mean, why not?
It was just the question. It was just the question.
Get this guy an NIL deal. Get him on a payroll. I mean, you're working. You're worth it. Keylan Moses is our guest here in studio. I want to knock out a quick break. We come back. I do want to talk a little more about the 25 class.
All right.
And I definitely want to talk more about Keylan Moses, the football player, and how you're going to fit into what LSU is going to do defensively. I mean, you still got a full senior year to go.
Yeah.
But it's not too early to start having those conversations. So
Yeah,
we'll do
for
that
sure.
when we come back. Glad you're bored with us here. It's a Thursday edition of AFR. Keylan Moses is our guest in studio. Don't move.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. The Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown. They always have great events going on at both as well. Remember, the Gregory is the restaurant inside of the Watermark downtown. And coming up on February the 10th is the Spanish Town Parade. So if you're going to be downtown for Spanish Town, make plans to pop in to either the Gregory or Milford's on 3rd. The Gregory is white tablecloth, fine dining, and Milford's on 3rd is it's a deli sandwich style shop. But either option are fantastic. So if you're going to be downtown for the Spanish Town Parade on February the 10th, make sure you make plans to experience the thing that I've been talking about for weeks and months now, which is the Gregory inside the Renaissance Hotel. Inside of the Watermark Hotel downtown. Great place just to maybe have a cold beer, a cocktail, a glass of wine with your significant other. It's the Watermark Hotel.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
The best kept
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, rolling along here. Keylan Moses in studio with us. LSU commit for the class of 2025. U-High Cub. Going after another state championship there at U-High, huh?
Yeah. That's basically the plan.
Y'all playing my Bears again this year?
Oh, yeah. We ain't going to say too much about that one.
Well, you got away with one last year is what happened. You know that.
I mean, I feel like it was destined for us to win.
It worked out for the Bears in the end. Got another trophy, hung another banner.
Yeah, y'all can have that one.
If you give me the option between a state championship or a week 3 win, you know which way I'm going there.
Yeah.
Hang the banner, move up, make some room in the trophy case. That's what I'm going for. hopefully you get to bring one of those to LSU, or maybe multiple. I want to talk about this 2025 class and how this has come together.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you all are doing right now is building what will rival and what could end up being statistically the best recruiting class LSU's ever had. People talk about 2001. They talk about 2011 with Jarvis and Odell and Freak Johnson and Lyle Collins, all those guys. And this one is starting to look like that one did. So I want to ask you about some guys. Let me ask you about like Bryce Underwood. So this guy from Michigan.
Yeah.
How does this happen? This quarterback, number one player from Michigan. Like, how do you all get him in the boat?
Well, honestly, it's just the communications thing. I mean, you see how well I talk, and a lot of people who have talked to me in the recruiting process, and it's just the thing with just communication and just staying close. Those type of connections you build with being here. And I'm not gonna lie, he came down a lot of times, and the times I seen him, he looked like he wasn't having a great time. And when you have guys like Joe Sloan, Frank Wilson, Jordan Arsman under your belt, I mean, like I said, you can't possibly compete with that. I mean, Frank Wilson, all those guys, I mean, he will get you to commit anywhere. He will get you to do anything with just a couple words. Like, I mean,
what is it about Frank?
He's special. I mean, y'all think I'm a great recruiter. You should talk to him, be in a room with him for like 30 minutes. I mean, he's a very intellectual type of guy, and he's very intelligent, and he's been through a lot. And for him being from New Orleans is another thing. Like, he has that dog in him for sure. I'll tell you about that. I mean, he has a lot of heart too. He has a lot of passion for what he does, and he shows that. Like I said, there's nothing better than it. I mean, we have the coaches, we have the players, we have the recruiting coordinators. I mean, whatever you want. I mean, and then who wouldn't want to come play for LSU? So, I mean, that's just how we got him. I mean, the number one player in the country.
What about Decorian Moore?
Decorian Moore, Cortez Hankton. I mean, you've seen what he did with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. I mean, who doesn't want to be a part of that? I mean, we're technically WRU. That's what they call it, wide receiving university. Yeah. I mean, you got guys like Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Jamar Chase, Jay Jettis. Like I said, Brian Thomas, Malik Thomas. I mean, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors. The list goes on and on. I mean, who doesn't want to be like those guys? And look at where they're at right now in the NFL, making millions. So you could do whatever you want at LSU.
How often do you talk to these guys?
I actually talked to Bryce Underwood today about DJ Pickett. So
DJ Pickett's a 5-star, for those who don't know, 5-star safety for the class of 2025, who was just on campus Wednesday?
Yesterday.
Wednesday. Yes, he was on campus Wednesday. Yeah, so I saw the picture of you with him. So you went over for his visit?
Yeah, I got called up, and, I stay, my school is like less than a mile away from the facility. So, I mean, with that, it's an advantage for LSU, which some people might take personal, but, I mean, I just go to school there, so there's not much I could do.
You're on campus.
Basically, I could go there, when they have guys like that, I could, advocate for them and, do my thing and get them when I can.
What was that like with DJ? What was that visit like for him?
I wasn't there for long, but, I said what I had to say, and he said he really liked it. He really did. He really enjoyed the fact that Corey was back, and when he was at Florida, he had a really good time with Corey Raymond. I was up there one time while he was there, and that's when Corey Raymond was up there, and he was having a blast with the coach. So, I mean, Corey and him have a really good connection, and now that he's here, we definitely have a plan to come grab him out of everybody's hands.
I asked this to Devin Harper when he was here last hour, and I'll ask you, because one of the things that fans talk about. So, like, this is a big forum, right? So a lot of fans will message and interact, and they'll say, well, how do you, with so much time between now and December, like, how do you keep this class together? And one of the things that I always find interesting, I referenced 2011 with Jarvis and Odell and all those guys. Mm-hmm. So they called themselves the fam, and their whole thing was like, no, we're all going to do this together. It was like they were all unified in that one goal of all going to play together. Is there like that sense among this group, or how, like, what do you say to the people that go, man, how can you keep all that talent together before
I'm not sure if y'all saw the post I made a couple hours ago. I said it's not just a team I'm building here; it's a brotherhood. So why not come be a part of something special? And being that it's a brotherhood, I mean, you have to communicate with these guys and talk to them and make sure they feel some type of way about being here. There's one thing about committing here, but really seeing yourself here on that field with that tiger in the middle of the field, I mean, there's only so much you could think about. So you just gotta imagine that, and feel that feeling for, at least the next December. So when you commit here, know that you're a part of a family. We're going to be here for you. And you have the fan base, which will also be here for you. So that's another thing. These coaches are just not coaches. They're your family. Like, talking to Coach Frank for I don't know how long. I've been knowing him since I was 8 or 9 or 10. Like, he's basically family to me. And, Corey Raymond's my cousin. So, that's family as well. And getting to know guys like Bobby Barham, Sherman Wilson, like I said, Jordan Arsman, those long-time connections have just been more of like a family connection. They're kind of my guys now. So as the more times you come over here, the more connection you build. So at that time, like I said, it's a brotherhood. So it's not just, these guys are committing for the trend. It's not a trend. It's a brotherhood. This is the thing. We're gonna play with each other. Like, that's the thing. That's our thing. We're gonna sit and play with each other. So.
Keylan Moses is our studio and guest with us here. When Dylan was at Alabama, obviously you cheered for your brother. Like, is it weird having cheered for Alabama and now being committed to LSU?
No, not at all, actually. Through my recruiting process, I knew I wasn't going to go to Alabama. Being there in the summers with my older brother while he was going to workouts, first off, there's nothing to do out there in Tuscaloosa. It's absolutely boring. Like, I promise you that. So whoever wants to go to Alabama, do not go to Tuscaloosa unless it's for a game. But, Birmingham is nice. But
Birmingham is nice.
Birmingham is all right.
Birmingham is nice.
Tuscaloosa,
right.
There is nothing to do out there. But it's just, they're not like LSU. It's more of a business there. And the things that occurred there with my older brother, it's not what you would do to a young man of his caliber. They from my knowledge, they played him while he was hurt. And Dylan's mindset, he has a lot of people to provide for, so he's not gonna sit out knowing he has an injury. Dylan was I'm not gonna lie, he was that guy. I seen him play multiple times. He's my older brother, so I'm gonna speak highly for him, but he was a different breed for sure. When I was younger, seeing him wake up, in pain sometimes, there's been times he didn't even want to play football because of how hard it was. It's really hard being the number 1 player in the nation from your 8th grade year to possibly your 11th grade year. Watching him work that hard and, really drop to basically nothing is really hard. You got to feel for somebody. And I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody. It's a business. When you walk in through those doors, let's at LSU or Alabama, these SEC schools, these coaches drop like flies every day. You could get fired or you could get let go. So, another thing is you don't want to get connected to a coach. So, like I said, it's a business. And once you're hurt, you're next man up. You just drop or you're not cared for, like a little leaf on the ground. So,
because if a coach gets fired or isn't at the school anymore, you're still at the school.
Yeah, the transfer portal wasn't a thing back then. Right. So, either you were here or you weren't. So,
right.
That's another thing. But I knew one thing. I wasn't going to Alabama. That's one thing I didn't want to do. I wanted my own path, and I didn't want anybody to, say, oh, his brother went to Alabama. He has a high chance of going to Alabama. No, that wasn't the case. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't like Coach Saban or Coach Pete Golden. Like, I love those guys. Those guys were really good to me in the times I was there my freshman year. But after my freshman year visit, I've never been back. Yeah. Not for any reason. They didn't have my interest. I wasn't interested in going there, So
everybody carves their own path, man.
Yeah. And it's nothing towards them. It's just I wanted my own path. I wanted my own name. I didn't want to be Dylan Moses' little brother. I wanted to be Keylan Moses. Like, that's probably what they all would have called me while I was there, if I'm being honest. But it's all about my own road and where I wanted to be, and it was close. It was a close run, but LSU ended up being where I wanted to stay. So
you're a mature dude, man. Being 17 years old, it's impressive talking to you. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but I do want to talk some football. How big are you right now?
6'2" and 3/4, and I'm 215 pounds.
Because I'm looking at your On3 profile. They have you at 6'1.5" at 215. I'm like, you're bigger than 6'1".
Yeah, I mean, they be lying on that little thing they have. So.
Well, I don't know when. I also don't know when they did
and
this.
That's, they also haven't updated. That was my freshman year.
Okay.
It says I'm 210 pounds on there probably.
So it says 6'1.5", 215. So you're 215. You're 215 right now.
215 right now. My
You're
weight
over
kinda
6'2" for sure.
So.
What would be an ideal? I mean, you still got a year. I mean, you got a whole senior year. Like as you continue to develop your body to play linebacker. You said you want to play linebacker in college,
Yes,
not defensive back, not safety.
Yes, sir.
How do you want to develop physically? Like, what do you need to do more of?
Just maintain my speed. That's kind of what I'm known for, being a sideline linebacker and being so versatile. I mean, I could play anything, whether you want it to be cornerback or safety or linebacker or even defensive end. I could get past those fat old linemen, or I could guard your fastest player, or I could go take one from up top at safety. And in 7-on-7, I play safety and I play linebacker and I play rover, which is a slot guarding a slot. So, my versatile ability is just crazy. I could do anything you want me to do, and I think that's why I was highly recruited, because you can put me anywhere, and a lot of ideas you have just with me in general is just crazy. You can put me anywhere now, do anything. I mean, with the matter of time, I could probably take your quarterback's helmet off. So, it doesn't really matter to me. I just like the game.
So, is your idea to be an off-ball linebacker?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, do you do a lot of that right now at U-High?
Well, actually, this is my first year doing it.
Okay.
My first 2 years, I was playing slot, like our strong safety, kind of. So, I was, like, guarding slots, and I was coming off the edge. In my freshman year, I was playing defensive end. So, this year, I was playing defensive end and linebacker. So, whichever down it was, I was either coming off the edge or blowing you up in the middle.
It's so interesting in high school because you may not be playing this is true on both sides of the ball. You may not be playing the position that you're going to project to, but you do what you have to do that's best on your high school team.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you see a lot of guys that are super athletic that their high school team says you're going to play quarterback because I want the ball in your hand every play. But you're not going to project to a quarterback at the next level.
Yeah, no.
So it's interesting to hear. So for you to learn, playing off ball. I know Coach Martin is awesome. I've known him a long time too. But what about Blake Baker coming back and coaching linebackers? Do you have any relationship there?
So actually, I do. He was my first ever offer as an 8th grader. I was in 8th grade and I went to the LSU camp, and I went against guys like Trevor Etienne, Trey Holly, Ruben Owens, and I held my own. Those guys were 5 stars, of course, but as an 8th grader and being as big as I was, I did what I could, and I did what I could. Like I said, I kind of showed out in a way. So after that, I did get an offer from LSU, and afterwards, I didn't necessarily have a connection with him. I just went on the road, and that's kind of how things started for me. But after he left, I also still didn't have a connection with him, but still, he was my first offer, and that means a lot to me. He was the first person to see anything in me. So I really appreciate that of him, and I'm glad he's back, because if you saw something in me when nobody else didn't when I was an 8th grader, there's only a matter of things you could do while you're here, while you have me for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. The time's coming, man. All right, so what's next for the 25 class? You said they're still working on 24.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's next, man?
We're still aiming for Terry. Yeah.
How's it going? So Terry Bussey, 5-star. It got everybody else from A&M to flip already.
I'm not gonna spoil anything or say too much anything, but let's just say he had a really good time yesterday, and we showed up and showed out actually. So, Terry is my guy. I actually rode on a golf cart with him after we bust A&M up that last game of the season. I was like, how you like that? You coming or not? And he just kind of laughed. And we just joked, and it wasn't really too much of nothing really said the rest of the ride.
Yeah.
But I talked to him a little bit, and I think, in my mind, he wants to be a Tiger. I'm not gonna say anything. I think, my predictions are just predictions, but I think he wants to be a Tiger.
We'll find out soon enough. The February signing date is coming up on Wednesday, so he'll make a decision, put pen to paper. We got a little while before Keylan Moses makes it official. It'll be next December, but hopefully between now and then, you and I'll have a chance to do more of this and catch up. This was a pleasure, man. We talked to a lot of high school recruits over the years, done a lot of this, man. There's a very short list that you're on of guys that are mature at your age. So
appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you very much for taking the time and coming in today. This was great. We'll do it again, okay?
Anytime.
All
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, come every day if you want. hang out. Keylan Moses is with us. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll continue on AFR.
AFR.
Hey, I want to take 60 seconds and remind you about Clegg's Nursery. Man, they've been great partners of ours for years now. And if you're a green thumb or you're interested in potentially getting in the garden, man, this is a great time to do it. I know it may not seem like it because you're like, it's the dead of winter. What are you talking about? Well, this is actually the time to plant trees and shrubs. If you want to put a fruit tree in your yard, let it grow, and something that your family can enjoy for generations, like this is the time of year to do it. And nobody has a better selection than Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations: Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, the Mid-City location on Donmore, and of course the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs that we tell you about all the time. Maybe you got your garden, you need accessories, mulch by the bag or of course in bulk. Same with soil, bag or bulk. They got you covered. They've got Johnny Naylor seeds as well and great garden accessories. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
This February, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are here to offer you a holiday rebate to the tune of $1,000 cash prize to help out. Signing up is as simple as heading to 1045ESPN.com. It's our annual holiday rebate gift to you from Citizens Bank and Trust and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We'll get to Otter Locks here a little less than 10 minutes from right now. Man, many thanks to Keylan Moses for joining us. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that conversation. You can understand why. He's got a magnetic personality. He's great at communicating a message, which you can understand why. I mean, if he's on the other end of a phone or meeting you face-to-face in a recruiting visit, why? That's a magnetic personality that people want to attach themselves to, man. That's the first time I've ever met him. He was super impressive. We'll do that again for sure. So y'all make sure you follow him on all social media as well. He said they ain't done for 24. Obviously continuing to build for 25 as well. We appreciate Keylan Moses here for a couple minutes, spending a couple segments with us here in the 5 o'clock hour. So, all right, we got Jimmy Ott coming up for Otter Locks here less than 10 minutes from right now. The big news of the day today, in case if you missed it, it was right as we were starting the show. Luke Johnson over at NOLA.com, The Advocate, reported the Saints are expected to restructure Derek Carr's contract, which would financially bind the Saints to Derek Carr even longer. Financially, the Saints are committed for 2024 to Derek Carr, where his cap number is north of $30 million. His dead cap number is over $50 million, meaning it would cost you more than $50 million against the cap if Derek Carr weren't on the team. So, of course, he's going to be on the team this year. But essentially what the Saints are looking at doing is restructuring Derek Carr's contract so they could lower that cap number this year. But in so doing, it would financially commit you to him longer, meaning the 24 season, most likely the 25 season, or potentially even beyond that. I got a tweet from hashtag Free Michael Thomas. Who said I'm ready?
From what? Free him from what?
I don't know, bro. That's his fault. Get him out. Hey, I respect it. He goes,
it was funny.
He said, I'm ready for the rant to end all rants. Actually, I started the show with my feelings on it. And I don't think that anything I said would surprise anybody. And instead of yelling and screaming, maybe that day will come whenever they actually do finalize this contract restructure. But, man, more than anything, it's just disappointing. I'm not surprised because this was, I think, the expectation. The Saints have hitched their wagon to Derek Carr. Mickey Loomis and this organization have made him their guy. And so what we saw this past season, while, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many, that is validation or confirmation of everything we've known Derek Carr to be over the decade he's been in the NFL, the Saints clearly don't see it that way. And they still see a guy that they feel like can be a championship caliber quarterback, so they just keep doubling down on him. And if that's what you're going to be, then that is what is going to, that decision is what is going to motivate your offensive coordinator hire. That is going to be the thing that that motivates what you do in free agency and the draft. It is all going to be geared toward maximizing Derek Carr. And I hope they're right. But my opinion on the matter is the maximum version of Derek Carr is a mid-level quarterback in the NFL. And I don't know that you ever win a playoff game with him as a quarterback. I mean, could you go 9-8 like this past year, win a bad division and make it in? Sure you could. But you're never going beyond that. So what do you want to be as a franchise? I think the Saints are answering that question. While we still wait on the Saints to announce who their new offensive coordinator is going to be, Drew Brees did an interview with WWL, and he was asked about how coveted the Saints offensive coordinator job is, which is something that we've questioned here, and I think a lot of people have. And while, yes, it's one of 32 in the NFL, the other part of that is there are more desirable situations for candidates that have options, and I think you've seen that manifest a bit. But here was Drew Brees on the subject.
certainly the stability of the head coaching position, certainly the guy who's playing quarterback, certainly the skill position players and just, the talent that you have on offense. I would see the New Orleans Saints offensive coordinator as being a highly coveted job. I think that we've got a lot of talented players. I think we've got a great offensive line. I think we have a quarterback who's very capable. And obviously you want to be a fit for your quarterback. I would imagine that he would be active in those conversations.
Well, first of all, I love all the we's. I love that Drew is still very much a we guy. I mean, ding him all day. And I love it. I love it very much. That had to be a very difficult thing for him the year he was working for NBC to not drop the we's. But I also don't know that I agree with him on the talent. Some of those names are the same. Michael Thomas is still on the roster. Alvin Kamara is still on the roster. Some of the guys that he played with, but Alvin Kamara isn't the player he was 5 years ago. Michael Thomas certainly isn't the player he was 5 years ago. I think we're all very optimistic about what Chris Olave at his best can be, and Rashid Shaheed is certainly talented. But your offensive line is not good. You don't have a dynamic running back, and you lack depth at receiver. And what you thought you had at tight end, signing Foster Moreau and extending Juwan Johnson, certainly didn't manifest this year as well. I could look at every spot on that offense and say, I feel less confident about it today than I did at the start of last season. So they got a lot of work to do as well. I think we have to be realistic when we evaluate and examine this team and what they are, not what they were or what we hope they could be, what they are. And what they are is an average offense with an average quarterback and a lot of debt on the books and a long way to go before they're competitive again. Okay, we're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson, just go for that consultation. I tell you every day, let this be the push. Let this be the impetus. Let this be the thing that moves you in the direction toward getting that refractive procedure done so you never have to wear contacts or glasses again. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to williamsoneye.com. That's williamsoneye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, it's After Further Review. Been a really good show. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. 5 great golf courses. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. We had Jeff Nowak from the Senior Bowl in Hour 1. LSU offensive line commit Devin Harper in Hour 2. Kendall Rogers was also here in Hour 2 talking a little baseball. And Keylan Moses spent a solid 30 minutes with us here in studio. What a great conversation. If you miss any of it, just go to your favorite podcast app, search After Further Review, subscribe up, or, of course, on the AFR YouTube channels. All right, we will wrap up with Outer Locks next.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal. a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Autolock.
Autolocks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
What a night. How about it? We had that first half. Purdue laying the 7.5. Had UCF plus the 4. That one fell short. We came back with a winner, actually an outright winner, Florida. Catching 7 and a hook, or I guess wherever you got it. Otter said, wait till tip to see if you got a better number. I waited till after tip and got 9.5. But however you got it, you got a winner. So a 2-1 night for the Otter. Back-to-back winning nights. Let's keep it rolling. How are you, Otter?
Didn't take me long to respond to your question if you should still get on it, huh? That's what, 9.5?
So I forgot about it, but I forgot to place the bet at 7 when the game tipped, when Kentucky and Florida tipped. So I went and looked at it about 7:20. I said, Otter, it's 9.5. Should I do it? And yes, immediately. So did cash the ticket a good night. So let's keep it rolling, man. What are we looking at tonight?
All right. The biggest game is Nebraska-Wisconsin. Nebraska is 5-0 in by average of double digits at home in Big Ten play. On the road, they're 0-5. Well, they're on the road. They're at home tonight against Wisconsin. Wisconsin's leading the Big Ten ahead of Purdue. But Wisconsin hosts Purdue on Sunday. These little look-ahead spots, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, do I need to remind you? Tennessee and Kentucky playing each other Saturday, same type of thing. Not as much as a big deal in football as football, but I'm taking Nebraska, minus 4.5. Plus 1.5. If you have 1.5, buy it to 2 for sure.
It's so DraftKings is at 1. Are we still on it at 1?
Plus 1.
Okay. All right, plus 1. Nebraska plus 1. Okay.
All right, Tulane, hullabaloo, grass, okay, all that stuff. So anyway, they're going to Dallas tonight and playing SMU. They're fading. We're going to take SMU minus the 8.
Okay, so it's 8.5 at DraftKings, so we are buying it to 8.
I know. Usually I don't do it over 6.5, but the reason I'm buying it is because we're also putting a 3-team money line parlay.
Okay.
SMU.
All right.
Arizona. And Arizona State.
Okay.
It's plus money.
All right. SMU is at minus 425. You said Arizona.
Money line parlay.
Yep. Sorry. I'm punching it all up here to see what we're going to come back at. Arizona, is this, am I looking at this right? Minus 2,800?
Yes, just go ahead.
Yep. And then Arizona State at minus 112. All right, so that 3-team
Yes.
comes back at plus 142.
Okay, there we go. Plus money.
Okay, plus 142. It's really nice. Okay.
UCLA was horrible. They're playing better, but they don't deserve to be 10-point favorites over anybody. Oregon State, and they won a couple of games, including, winning some good games over the weekend that weren't even in question. I'm gonna go on the road here. Half unit Oregon State plus 10.
Okay.
Half unit Oregon State money line.
Oh.
1 minute remaining.
All right. So a half unit on Oregon State plus 10. So basically, whatever your bet would be, split it in half. Do half of it on Oregon State plus the 10, half of it on Oregon State on the money line. So we're looking at Nebraska plus 1.
Yes.
SMU minus 8. A 3-team money line parlay with Southern.
Arizona State, and SMU.
SMU, Arizona State, on the money line parlay, and then Oregon State, split your bet, half money line, half plus 10. All right, Otter, Rufino's tomorrow.
Rufino!
Let's go. All right, Otter, good luck. Have a great night. Let's cash some tickets. All right, I guess he's gone. That's Jimmy Ott. Muse, Paulie, I appreciate you. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, get to remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. I say this often, and it bears repeating, that if you're just shopping price, do not call Relief Windows. They will not be the cheapest. So if there's someone says, hey, go get 3, 4, 5 estimates. Nope. I'll save you the time. Do not call Relief Windows. They won't be the cheapest. They never will be the cheapest. Because when you call Relief Windows, you're getting custom windows. Custom made to fit the exact specifications of your home. Wood windows that come with a lifetime warranty. A lifetime warranty that includes labor, material, and glass breakage. Sell your home. The next owner, 3 years down the line, their kid breaks a window, Relief Windows will replace it for free. It's experience, quality, and service. It's ReliefWindows.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 Black Widow trucks, $20,000 off new Ram 1500 trucks, and all new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.